The United States Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, also delivered the keynote address at the ongoing Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi on Tuesday. Gabbard expressed her delight at returning to India, praising the country's warm culture and rich history.
It's great for me to be back here in India. It's been too long, but it's always such a wonderful and warm experience knowing the rich history of this country and the vibrant democracy that really serves as the foundation for the special bond that has long existed between our two countries.
Gabbard also emphasized the enduring strength of the US-India partnership, noting that it has stood the test of time for decades.
It's been a constructive few days where I've been engaging with our Indian counterparts. The partnership between our two countries has been strong for decades, and under the leadership of two great leaders and true great friends, President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, and rooted in our shared values of peace and freedom, security and prosperity, I'm confident that this partnership and friendship between our two nations and our leaders will continue to grow and strengthen.
Gabbard further noted that President Trump's America First policy does not mean America alone.
So just as President Trump is committed to America First, putting the safety, security, and freedom of the American people at the forefront of his policies and his decisions, Prime Minister Modi is committed to India First. Prime Minister Luxon is committed to New Zealand First. This is the expectation of any leader's commitment to their people, to serve them, to put their interests at the forefront of their decisions. But this should not be misunderstood to mean that America First is America alone. The relationships that we build together are critical to advance our mutual interests.
Gabbard also stressed the importance of direct engagement in shaping global policy, highlighting how such dialogues offer opportunities to address critical issues with clarity and purpose.
Gatherings like this here at Raisina are so important because it brings us together here, people from over 120 countries around the world, providing us a platform where heads of state, ministers, directors, leaders in business and nonprofits and strategic think tanks can actually come together in that spirit of aloha for robust dialogue and debate that will help us increase our understanding of one another.
Lead India's Akshay Dongre is with us from New Delhi, where Raisina Dialogue is currently taking place. Akshay, as we heard, Tulsi Gabbard focused on the enduring relationship between US and India, with a special emphasis on the personal bond between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump. But when she said that America First does not mean America alone, what was she hinting at?
Well, the policies of Donald Trump has been seen as isolationist as well by different countries when it comes to Europe, when it comes to the partner nations of the United States, such as India. There have been questions that if President Donald Trump is speaking about America First, if he's talking about the welfare of the people of US or other trade policies that America has with other countries, it should not be considered that it is an isolationist policy, which means that it is not that the US is trying to isolate itself from other countries and trying to only focus on itself. So it's not a selfish policy, according to Tulsi Gabbard. It is a policy that was in accordance with the need of time. And if these historical wrongs were not corrected, they could have deteriorated relations of America with other countries, especially allies such as India. So that is one statement that has been made by Tulsi Gabbard. We have heard of Dr. S. Jaishankar as well, the Foreign Affairs Minister of India, who has spoken about the kind of policies that have been made under Modi government in the last 10 years and how they have enhanced the relations of India with not just the neighboring countries but with major global powers such as America, global powers in Europe and in Asia as well. So we are looking at a policy that was formulated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi as soon as he came into the office of Prime Minister of India, where he emphasized on the need to build closer relations with the neighboring countries. Then we have seen how his pitch for better coordination and cooperation among the global South countries has yielded results. We have seen how when India hosted the G20 summit, the African Union was included in the G20 as a member of the grouping too. So here at Raisina Dialogue, all of the policies and the result that has culminated is all on display. In fact, more than 20 foreign ministers of different countries are attending. We have interacted with several foreign ministers, including Foreign Minister of Hungary, of Ghana, of Luxembourg. We have spoken with other foreign ministers as well, who have all spoken about the policies that have been formulated in the last decade and how they have fostered into record trade numbers, record visits when it comes to bilateral talks, and how the relationships have cemented among the nations with India, and how India has positioned itself as a major geopolitical power, not just in the region but across the world.
Indeed.
So this is the 10th edition of Raisina Dialogue, and in fact it is a spectacular display of India's geopolitical strength here as well.
Okay. Now, Dr. Jaishankar also mentioned of the need for the UN to have basic consistency on standards. So is the overhaul of the UN going to be a major discussion point here at the 10th Raisina Dialogue?
Well, when a country such as India, that deserves to be part of the permanent nations of the Security Council, to take major decisions. Now, we have to remember that India is the world's largest country when it comes to population. It is the world's largest democracy as well. It is a country that has been part of the war efforts during World War II. That was the basic criteria earlier. We have lost more soldiers than many of the countries around the world. We are a country that has always upholded the rule of law. We believe in democracy and democratic values, and the structure that is there in the Security Council, that is the body which is the most powerful body of the United Nations. India has no place in it when it comes to the permanent nations. It has no veto, and the countries that had won the World War II primarily are the members of the P5 of the United Nations, including the US. Then you have France, you have Britain, you also have China. So all of those countries that were members of the permanent five of the Security Council continues to remain that way, though the world has changed quite significantly, and it is a need of time to prevent conflicts such as the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, the conflict that has broken out in the Middle East, to have better representation of people from all around the world, and to have representation of countries like India that are not only the fastest growing major economy, but it is also a democracy, and in fact the largest democracy. So with the changing times and the changing need of overhaul of the United Nations, this is in fact a major concern for most of the countries around the world. That why only a select few countries that have always held the veto power in the United Nations Security Council should remain that way. So that is in fact a major point of discussion. And when a country like India hosts such a massive geopolitical summit, then definitely the voice of India is being heard, and the countries that are here have also spoken about the need for countries like India to be included in decision-making bodies of the United Nations. Otherwise, the body is going to lose its relevance in the near future.
Okay, thank you very much, Akshay. Akshay Dongre reporting from the Raisina Dialogue in New Delhi.